Yay. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Becca Briley, SWIHA Success Coach, joining you live with Jasper Marie. Hi, Jasper.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so good too, and I'm glad to hear you're so good. And what's exciting about featuring Jasper today is that not only is she a SWIHA Success Coach supporting students and graduates as they start their own practices in the world in a loving and profitable way, which is a mission statement of SWIHA, is she's also completed the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma on campus. So,
Yeah.
yay. So let's just first meet Jasper. Jasper, putting you on the spot, just, tell us a little bit about you. What was your why? Why were you attracted to this program? And what made you take it from a student standpoint?
Yes. So, my biggest why for coming to SWIHA and joining the program that I did, by the way, the program, my specialties were nutrition and herbalism. And
Mm,
so within that, I had always really struggled with my weight and my nutrition habits growing up. And that really led me down a path to finding my own voice within my personal physical health. And so once I really started that journey and became really great at really understanding my body, intuitively eating, really getting good fitness habits, teaching myself how to cook, weaning myself off of foods that I felt very addicted to.
mm.
I knew that my life's journey was to support people in the same way that I taught myself because I didn't really have
Mm.
anyone to teach me. And so that was what made me want to come to SWIHA. So now I do fitness and nutrition coaching and I do meal prepping. I cater events and retreats. So it's really, really fun. And I am very grateful for the experience here.
It looks very rewarding. You're also very well versed on social media. You know how to use it to your highest advantage. So I celebrate that about you.
Hey, thank you.
And we know, just to keep it real, we know that it's a struggle, with some students and graduates, social media, healthy boundaries, really being able to use it to our highest advantage, right? As coaches, as practitioners, as entrepreneurs, really.
Mm,
So thank you for sharing that with us. Beautiful. Glad that you're doing that work.
yay.
Um, and I've been with SWIHA for over a decade, a very unhealthy relationship with food. Grew up as a child model actress, wanted to be skinny, thought I wouldn't be loved unless I was pretty. Yikes, right?
Mm,
And we learn from a system that kind of does things for the wrong reasons, right? So it wasn't really until I think I had my first child, but then ultimately went through SWIHA, where I took the holistic nutrition program too.
mm,
Started with life coaching, which is the foundation of the program that we're going to explore today, but really transformative in when you do things for the right reasons, then everything just naturally unfolds and it becomes simpler, right? Not to say that it's sometimes difficult because we all have our moments. We're human. Um, and this program, especially this word, integrative, really didn't mean what it means to me now until I took more programs at SWIHA and have technically finished the same program as you, Jasper,
mm.
just online. So amazing to explore why everyone's here today. So for those in the webinar, you can share in the chat or Q&A, what's your why, what brings you here. That's important to us and anyone watching on social media. I want to hear from you. So let's jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Jasper, let me know that you can see that.
I can see it.
Okay, cool. First thing I want to note really quick, so I don't forget, is this is the on-campus program that we're exploring today. We do have the online version, which has different specialty options. That's key to remember. And we can connect you with an admissions coach at the end who will support what you're looking for. Another note, this program starts January 8th, and the tuition increases the end of the year from $18 per classroom hour to $20 per classroom hour. So it's important to remember, but enroll before the holidays, like before Christmas time. I put December 22nd just to give you enough time. If you're looking at using financial aid, we are a Title IV funded school, which means if you do qualify and want to use this for career purposes, you can if you qualify, but give yourself the grace of time to fill out your FAFSA, and we can go over that at the end. So let's just jump right in what we're going to explore today on the agenda: core curriculum. So talking about the classes that you'll be taking, talking about the coaching focus, right? Kind of like your solid foundation, your specialty focus, and we will have Q&A all the way through, unless you want to save your questions for the end. So let's go. So core curriculum, and I will let you speak to some of this, Jasper, is the holistic entrepreneur core courses, specifically for business development and applied entrepreneurship. Obviously, we don't want to shove you in here at the beginning of the program, right? Your vision, your mission, your business name hasn't birthed itself, right? So through the curriculum, through your journey of education, healing on your own, right? You becoming more whole, as you learn to help others become more whole. Then you take those classes. Jasper, how was taking these courses for you personally?
I mean, personally, this is like my jam. Like I love all things business and really learning like how to run a business, all of like the nitty-gritty things that go into it, and really learning how to build the foundation. Our on-campus, one of our on-campus teachers, James Patrick, he's another part of our career services team here, and he was my teacher, and he was
Mhm.
so great and wonderful and just like so informative about the process and very like supportive along the way. So I went through those courses a little nervous, because it's like, oh wow, like now things are like really getting going and like I actually like really have to like start taking action. But
Mm.
it was a really good like push, it was just like, okay, like you are ready. Like let me just kind of gently nudge you in the direction. So our first business class, the business development class, like that was what I had with James. And then the applied entrepreneurship, that was where you really start to focus on social media and blogging and public speaking. And, even if maybe this wasn't the direction that some people were going in, it was still such a beautiful and necessary experience to start really learning how to get up in front of people and talk to
Mm.
people and share your message and receive feedback from your fellow classmates. So in these classes, again, like the support was so amazing, and the teachers were just always there to, guide us and let us know, like, hey, if this like needed a little bit of tweaking, like there was honesty there, and I felt
Mm.
coming out of it that I had a really good platform to like start and begin, because you are required to do some posting, and that's kind of like part of the homework. And so once I got out of there, I had, my Instagram started, and I was like, oh cool, like I have all these posts. I had like, 12 posts ready to go, and now I can start building off of that. So I was very grateful for those classes to be weaved into this kind of education that we have here.
I love that. And what I love that you said the most might be like you were kind of nervous because it was time to take action. So for people who step into the healing arts, like we have this vision, that it's just this beautiful, healing, uplifting, easy process. And yes, it's that special. We still have to work through our own shadows, our fears, our obstacles. Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of success, being held accountable, having to show up when you're not feeling like showing up. It's all the things that you really have to take the time to assess. So I love that you said that, Jasper. It was like go time. Did you have to work through any of those obstacles for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. There was a lot of fear there in just the process of like being like, okay, now I have all this education. Oh my gosh, now it's time to like actually do something with it.
Mhm.
And it was that moment of just being like, okay, like this is what I came here for. This is the goal. This was the dream. And I'm finally at the point where I can start making it come true and putting it out into the world. And yes, like sharing your message can feel a little scary, but it's the fear that tells you where you need to go. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. Like it's bubbling, but I'm gonna do it anyway because this is what I wanted. So
Love it. Yes. Beautiful. Well, thank you. And I'm sure many people can relate to that story. So,
mm,
um, okay, you can still see my screen, yes. So
mhm.
kind of talked about the holistic entrepreneur courses, and that this program really is built to have a well-rounded applicable career feel for you. So no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you're, like 55 and about to retire and want to have something soulful, right, to retire on, whether you're full-time and want to build your practice part-time to then build up and ramp into, whether you're young, right out of, high school or college and want to just hit the ground running with this. Whatever success looks like for you as a healing arts practitioner, an integrative healing arts practitioner, then that's what it will be for you. And you have a team of teachers, fellow students, coaches, I mean, every resource in our school to help you achieve that. So let's look at the core courses, which are really where I think the word integrative comes into play. For me personally, of course, it's everywhere. The somatic psychology courses, the spiritual coaching, the EFT techniques are all extremely powerful tools to help you integrate what you learn as a coach into your practice. And as a human, we get to learn all of the techniques and tools for regulation, right? Keeping our frontal lobe online. If we have trauma in our background, how do we become trauma aware? Explore the mindfulness of staying in the present moment, using our breath, using tapping, mantras, aromatherapy, essential oils. I could go on and on. So, we have these amazing courses that are built into this program with intention so that not only are you doing this work as, a student, you're learning and integrating using these tools on you. So, in essence, you're healing parts of self. Ultimately, you're learning how to hold this sacred space as a coach so that others can heal themselves and do the same in that space. What would you like to say about these, Jasper, about these aspects?
I mean, as far as like, taking a look at these classes that you have listed
Mhm.
here, the somatic psychology class is actually the first class that you take in your program. And they built it this way because this class is a really foundational point in the process of gaining like all of these tools because you start to learn about yourself and then you start to learn these regulation techniques to support your healing, to support, when you're feeling dysregulated, how to come back into your body, and then learning how to support your clients in that as well. Because within this work, there is a lot of there can be a lot of trauma that can come up. And so, knowing as a coach how to be able to support your client in regulating and coming back into their body and coming back to center is so important. So, it's such a beautiful class. And I love that they put it at the beginning now, to really
Mm.
like build that like solid foundation for the rest of your journey.
Amen. And when you really look at the reason too, another layer, right, is that anyone who is attracted to this curriculum is more than likely a healer, which means we work on ourselves. We worked on some sort of aspect of self, right, to heal. And we need to become aware of how to hold space, not only for other people's triggers, but our own.
Mhm.
And then how to reframe those, how to stay in the present. So if you're triggered within the curriculum, you know how to navigate that and stay with it. So I too love it for that reason. I want to put this up on the screen because this is the program sheet of the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma before we talk about the specialties, where you can see everything in one sheet. So you get to select your courses based on what you want your focus to be, your specialty. So it doesn't go in this order, but then I also want to show you guys the class calendar, which when you look at the classes, and I'll share these links in chat and comments, when you look at the course name, so let's take, for example, Somatic Psychology, like Jasper was just explaining. And if you look at the course code, it's alphabetized in the calendar to where if I wanted to look what this class is about and when it runs, it's right here. So you can read the description, you see the class dates, which your advisor will set for you, but literally everything can be found right there. So it's pretty nice to have. So you can have every course description that you'll be taking. So let's jump into, if no one has questions so far, let's jump into our coaching focus. So Jasper, yours was health and wellness coaching, is that right?
Yes.
As the focus. Do you want to just kind of speak to that foundation as a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in my line of in my path,
Mhm.
I chose health and wellness coaching because health and wellness coaching is really setting you up for work, the ability to get certified by the NBHWC, oh my gosh, Becca, I'm blanking on what the national board.
That's a
So
long word.
it's a long one. But anyway, um, getting certified by them, they are working to make it so you can accept insurance. So a lot of the times that can be a little bit of a wall or a, a barrier for
Mhm.
people to move forward because maybe they can't afford the services. And so being able to accept insurance is such a huge piece of this NBHWC certification, and the ability to work with doctors or be working like in a clinic and things like that. So that's really the focus there. And then you start to build on, your um, so like you work with like smoking cessation or addiction and all of these different aspects that can come into this line of work. And so nutrition and um, I'm trying to think of a couple. These was like 2 years ago when I took these courses, so I'm like trying to
Mhm.
remember everything that came along with these classes. But and then you do group coaching as well. So all of that really laid such a great foundation for me as a coach moving forward of knowing how to work with my clients in that kind of setting. Yeah,
Nice. And it
if that
is
makes
National
sense.
Board for Health and Wellness Coaching,
So
NBHWC. No, I know it's very long. It's hard to remember.
yes.
Very hard to remember. So yeah, So you became a well-rounded health and wellness coach with the foundation of nutrition and herbalism,
Mhm.
and you love what you're doing with it.
Absolutely. I love it. I feel that it really set me up for success. It put me in a lot of situations where we were coaching with classmates, we were coaching with outside people. There was a lot of practice sessions that, and a couple that you recorded so you could bring in and receive feedback from our teachers. And they offer some really great feedback, offer a lot of really great tools. Like that is, you know, if anything else, the tools that you receive in these classes are just so valuable. I have like a binder, just like I flip through it, and I have every tool necessary so that when something comes up with a client, I'm able to look back and be like, okay, like let's use this one, let's use this one. And so that, above all else, was just so great to receive in these classes.
Awesome. Good. Well said. For those of you who are looking more towards the intuitive guidance and coaching focus, you might be one who considers yourself like clairvoyant. You love to work with angels, spirit guides. So even if you're curious about it and haven't dabbled in it, but feel that you're called to this path for a reason, this could be the coaching focus for you. And you have the intro to that. You have the angels and guides classes, intuitive guidance, practical applications, and then how to offer that, as a business. So if you have that calling, we have one of the leading teachers who actually teaches this program is one of the admissions coaches. So she would be the right one to connect with, and y'all can go deep and have your intuitive coaching conversation, I would say. That would be really cool to witness. Then the last one is the life coaching. Um, Basically, heart-centered approach is what we call it. But coaching is the foundation of all of them. But this is really how to learning to ask the powerful questions, create that safe container, and then have your clients, maybe speak words they've never spoke before, right? Having that accountability partner where it's confidential, and then they can, set themselves up for success with you as their coach to set up whatever it is that they're needing to make that change, whatever that change may be. So they're all beautiful options, and it's all going to be relative to your intention as a healing arts practitioner, and how you see that unfolding in your business. Big part of that being who your niche market is. Some of you already know who you want to work with. Some of you think it's everyone. And then some of you will find that you will fine tune that within your program so that it makes more sense for marketing purposes, right? And that you'll feel more qualified with a certain demographic. Jasper, do you have a certain demographic that you work with personally?
Right now, I am working with women who may be ex-workout addicts, people who had worked themselves to burnout and now are looking for a more sustainable way to live a healthier life, maybe who who want to be more uh, nutritious and gain a better exercise routine, but they're not really into like the heavy lifting and body weight and super restrictive diets. So I teach people how to find food freedom and gain confidence within themselves and really working on building that inner strength.
I
Yes.
love the food freedom
Yeah.
term.
Yes.
Love it. I'm sure it's trademarked, but it's a good one.
Right.
So, the health and wellness coach with the holistic nutrition focus as a specialty, as you can see here, you really deepen your understanding of the whole food nutrition, and how that contributes to your optimal health. So like Jasper said, you'll get into whole and raw foods. So we don't always have to cook our food, right? There's substitutes, and technically when we cook our food to a certain temperature, we kill the nutrition. Just like we kill the bad stuff in food, we also kill the good stuff. So learning those things, simple cooking techniques, easy to prep recipes. I laugh now when people say fast food because I'm like, you're literally waiting in a long drive through to get crap fake food. I'm not judging anybody. You do you. But really, could you just pick up an apple or, an orange? And that's the Earth's contribution to what really is fast food. It's right there and ready to go. That's the fastest food there is.
Mm, absolutely.
So you'll help your clients, you know, look at things in different ways. I think for most nutrition and even how we're rewarded growing up, right? Jasper's like undoing the program of the certain meals a day, the standard American diet, and really intuitively learning what your body needs and craves.
Mm,
So that specialty is focused on the anatomy of wellness. You'll explore health conditions. You'll have an exam prep for the MBHWC, holistic nutrition, and then you'll choose your electives. So that is option one. The modern spirituality celebrant and end of life doula was added, yay, this year. It's very exciting because it's very special. It is for, supporting clients who are going through that heavy grieving process, conducting rituals, ceremonies for honoring someone's end of life, which doesn't just focus on the person who's transitioning. It's also about family, friends, people connected. So it takes, I would say, a special soul to be able to hold that space. As empath, I will speak from my own experience. Sometimes I will feel too much of all the feels that it can be too much for me as that person. So for me, that would not be the correct specialty of choice. So those are things you have to explore about yourself to know, like, can I do this? Am I ready? How can I separate or turn off any sort of emotion when I'm supposed to be the one not crying, right? And it's okay
mm,
to cry. You've seen leaders and people release, but just exploring yourself to make sure that you're ready. And I did a webinar, Jasper, with Joel, who's teaching the program, and the beautiful souls who showed up to this webinar. I mean, they had the most powerful and profound stories.
mm,
And it really, the bottom line that everyone shared of like what we don't want you to do is don't bypass someone's opportunity to let them know that they are transitioning, right? We don't want to try and bypass it and make it okay. Like, no, you're not dying. No, this is it's like, yes, and it's good and it's beautiful. Um, that was the feedback that we got from everybody because they had all lost people or been in that process. So
mm,
thought that was kind of fascinating.
mm,
Like, don't hijack the opportunity to be that, explore that part of your humanity. Okay, spiritual transformation focus. This is where you can learn the holistic healing techniques to really dive into your intuitive gifts, engage spiritual leadership, create sacred ceremony, and really facilitate healing for others. So, laying on of hands, let's just use as an example, or the hovering of hands is known as Reiki. So it helps to unlock and move energy blockages from the physical, emotional, or spiritual being. There's polarity or there's cranial unwinding. So this is a more energetic focus with the spiritual, foundation, that spiritual transformation being the ultimate goal. So when people come to you saying, they feel lost, or they're going through a heavy time, or they're trying to heal when they can't, right? Do you feel called to offer the energetic track? What would you have to say about that, Jasper? Have you experienced any of those?
You know, personally, I have not taken any of those courses in like Reiki and polarity and craniosacral or cranial unwinding. I have experienced sessions that are so beautiful, and the people who are called to that just have such a beautiful gift of being able
Mm,
to really move that energy and support me in the process of moving that energy out of my body. But personally, that was not my path.
yeah. I went to Japan to study Reiki with a group from SWIHA. It was amazing and beautiful. And I'm not a polarity or cranial unwinding practitioner, but I've had both. I've received both. And I will tell you what, I wasn't sure about the power of it, but when you when you allow yourself to open and release, it's absolutely amazing what comes out. It's truth. Number one, that comes out is truth. And number two is whatever energy is being held in the physical will release so that your spiritual is able to basically unlock. So
Mhm.
you get to kind of wipe away, right, this residue or whatever you've been holding on to, and really shift.
Mm. Mm. Love
Absolutely
that.
amazing. Yeah. My first polarity experience was in a large room. It was like a group setting, and I was making a very important decision. And what showed up, and I didn't even know that my practitioner was like maybe like 10 feet away from me, but my body would start twitching to like where she was. It was that powerful.
Wow.
And then, yeah, what came up for her, like intuitively, vision wise, was like exactly what I was asking to be shown. It was just like, it was
Mm.
amazing. So,
Mm.
if you haven't had a session, where I'm going with this is if you haven't received, we do have the specialty clinic at SWIHA
Mm.
where you can go to receive, to go, okay, what is this really all about? I've heard all of these things. I know I can do this and this with it as a business. Try it out as a client. Even ask the student, how is this for you as a practitioner? Like you can do that. You can ask the questions and really try to put yourself in the practitioner's place of, do you want to do this as a
Mm.
career? Right?
Mm. Yeah. And we
So
have some
that's,
of the greatest teachers like
oh
out
my
there.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. Like we're just like some of the best who work here and do this work. So you're really coming in and learning from the best.
Yeah. James D. Arena alone is absolutely amazing. I mean, they're all
Mm.
awesome. Yes. Um, Speaking of amazing teachers, we have a leading, I would even call her a legend in my mind. Linda Bennett is amazing. Call her the hypnotherapy queen. She built a very powerful program that we offer as the advanced hypnotherapy focused. So you can learn extensive hypno techniques to help guide clients cultivate meaningful direction, life purpose, overcome fears, phobias, addictions, heal from the past, step into the new, change behaviors. And I will be honest here too. It's the honesty session 101. I also doubted the power of hypnotherapy, as many do. Media definitely slanders it, the power of it, sadly. And I, it took me a while to actually get in a chair and allow myself to be led It worked. The first time I went in for public speaking, which is why a lot of people do go in for public speaking, and it worked. I went in with an intention. I had the most amazing, powerful session, which really it came down to self-worth, right? Self-love, that which we could all probably do a little better on,
Mm.
and really seeing myself how I needed to see myself. Can you relate, Jasper?
Phew, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
so I call hypnotherapy life coaching on steroids just to be funny because it's like coaching the subconscious, right? We live from all these subconscious programs, and then we don't know why we keep showing up like this, or we think we're showing up like how we think we're showing up, but we're not really. So it's getting to that root cause of what it is without even having to name the root cause. So for some people, again, with trauma in your background, it's not our job as a hypnotherapist to unlock or talk about that root. It is a matter of forward focused change, integrating, repeating the intentional words that we are transforming to make that a new reality. So we don't
Mm,
focus on what was. We almost try not to. We're reinforcing what is
mm,
now. And that would be whatever the client says is your intention for the session. That's what's being integrated in the script. So there's tons of advanced professional hypnotherapy courses you'll take, like I mentioned. Script writing became one of my favorites, but you'll get all the templates, you'll get all the sessions practiced on you, you'll practice with your classmates, and it is a beautiful gift that you can really turn into a powerful career. People are taking it more seriously than ever, I would say.
mm.
Last but not least is our yoga focus. So, surprise, surprise, we do have a yoga branch called Spirit of Yoga. So, you can become a registered teacher and really create a business that supports that mind, body, spirit connection, right? Yoga is to yoke, to merge them all together. And it could be different from you. Maybe you want to have a fitness approach, right? We're not saying it's what it has to be, but that's what you'll be taught in the curriculum. A very well-rounded,
Mm,
um, what you bring on your mat and what you take off your mat is going to
mm,
be up to you. So, yoga nidra is combined in there, and then you'll have electives. Yoga nidra, for those who are unfamiliar, is kind of like it's similar to hypnotherapy. It's navigating you through your body. And if they say that 30 minutes of yoga nidra is equivalent to 3 hours of very deep sleep. Again, I was a doubter. First time I ever thought, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be too cold. I'm gonna be uncomfortable. There's not enough blankets. I went so deep, so fast the whole time. Woke up like, wow, that was amazing. And there's really not words for it. Have you ever experienced Nidra? Yoga
I
Nidra?
I have, yes. It's funny, the first time I actually experienced it, this is like a funny story. But the first time I ever experienced it was here during a practicum for one of my friends. And
Mm.
I was like in a shared space, so there was multiple people kind of like in the rooms. And I went so deep that I was snoring basically the whole
Oh,
time.
you were the
And
snorer.
I was the snorer, and I came to, we ended, and then my friend was like, "Yo, you were snoring the whole time." And I was just like, "Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh.
I'm so sorry, everybody." But that was the first time I did it. I've done it more times since then. Use it a lot when I don't really have time to like take a full nap, and really just need to get energized for the rest of my day. So it's such a beautiful practice. in Kamini is just, or Kamini, Kamini,
Yeah.
is just such a beautiful, beautiful soul. So you're again getting taught from one of the best in the nation, really, in the world.
Truly, truly. Yes, the Amrit Institute. We have integrated a lot of their teachings, their energy,
Mm,
and just their outlook on yoga into our curriculum. So we're very grateful for that. We had a group go to India to learn directly from them,
mm,
and the stories I've heard just, coming back are one of the best experiences of their lives.
mm,
And that's beautiful. So I want to see what questions anyone may have, whether you write it in the comments, you can put it in the Q&A section, or I can unmute you. If you want to raise your hand, you can ask a question. I can allow you to speak and be heard. Um, and while we're waiting for questions, I do just want to again show that this is a Title IV funded program. So any program that's 600 hours or more is eligible for financial aid if you are, right? So you can actually go to our website. You can hover over admissions and student services. Financial assistance is there. If you scroll down, here's what I want you to see is the link to the FAFSA website, and most importantly, our school code. And we won't know that you filled this out until you get in touch with us. So we want to talk to you about, scheduling classes. Technically, it's 2 at a time. Most of them are evening classes. There's some intensive weekend classes, but that's something that we want to talk to you about on a coaching call. Want to talk about your schedule, your life commitments. Sometimes we have these calls with people who haven't even talked with their family or friends about it yet, and then decide, well, they don't want me to do it yet. And those are all important things we have to consider. Um, so it's literally right around the corner and it'll be here before you know it.
mm,
So I will put I put a link in the description so that you can book a session with either Crystal to talk about the on-campus program or Vicky if you're interested in the online program, which again, different specialties. So be mindful of that. Doesn't look like we have any questions for today, Jasper. As I ask you this, it's 444 angel number.
oh.
Um, what is your intention, I guess, then with this curriculum as an integrative healing arts practitioner diploma with a focus of health and wellness coaching and holistic nutrition? Wow. What are you going to do with this within the next 5 years?
So do with my education, is that what you're
Yes.
asking me?
Yes.
So yeah, so right now, kind of like a little bit what I mentioned earlier, I do nutrition coaching, personal training, meal prepping, event catering, and then the eventual goal would be to start online training. I'm hosting my first group workout here pretty soon, and I know that's not exactly,
Woo!
yeah, yay! I know I'm very excited.
Fun.
It's not this program really set me up to really find my voice in the fitness and nutrition world. So just really supporting people on that journey. I'm going to be creating guides, an eventual big goal, like 10-year plan, really 10 years instead of 5 years. 10-year plan is to
Yeah.
own my own like fitness and wellness studio. So I'll be able to have my own space where I do workout classes, but also do my nutrition coaching and teach classes and work together with my partner to do breath work and meditation and sound healings and stuff like that. So all good things are coming.
Yes. All good
Yeah.
things. Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that. First of all, your passion with us, your purpose with us, and then telling us really what you're going to do with it, which I've heard you say what you're going to do with it when you were going through the program way back. and you're doing all the things you said you were going to do. So I really
Yes.
celebrate that. And I know the journey can be challenging, but you make it look easy.
Well, thank you. You
You
know, it's
make
all
it look
about,
easy.
yeah, it's just about showing up and just, being yourself and being willing to make mistakes and being willing to be messy and figure it out because no one is going
Mm,
to be perfect right off the bat. There's just no way. And if you're out there, like, call me, let me know like how we make that work. But other than that, I'm just, out here, walking straight into the fear and being like, all right, let's try it out.
mm, yeah. And Shelly's watching the webinar and she just says, so proud of you, Jasper. You and your partner rocked it at B&G, which is Gifts and
Oh.
Graces. So how was that for you speaking in public on stage? I just want to hear from you.
It was such a beautiful and terrifying experience, your
Mm-hmm.
first time really stepping onto a stage and, you know, talking about your journey or the first time stepping on the stage and talking about my journey and really just being in front of an audience and, teaching something that's like I'm so passionate about. I was so grateful for the opportunity and so scared. But as I was up there, I was like, okay, like I could do this. Like, this is great, And we received a lot of really great feedback, and we're really excited to uh, bring this message into the future and other spaces and learn how we can really, like, really just nail down that like topic. And I was so grateful that SWIHA was like the first place that we got to present it at. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it's like what do you call it? Not the birth of it, but it's like the conception, right? The conception, the
Yeah.
hub of like where it's being formulated together. And now I'm seeing you put together. So, one of the reasons people do public speaking is to get up in front of an audience, deliver such a moving and profound story and experience that those who attend, want to attend the workshops, the workouts, the retreats, the circles. That is part of business.
Mm,
Really, really it
mm,
is. But it feels like much more, right? All the spiritual warfare involved too is
mm.
very interesting. For some, it's a
Absolutely.
lot. For others, it might not be so much. So,
Mm, yeah.
so connect with a coach like
Mm,
I'm doing with Jasper right now is really diving deep. I'm asking about her and, you know, if I was to follow up with Jasper, I would say, I want to check in 2 weeks. I'm going to see how this went. You're going to tell me how this is going. Um, but really connect with one of the admissions coaches to explore yourself and get enrolled. I would say before the end of December. So,
mm,
yay. Well,
mm.
thank you for spending this time with me,
Yay. Of
Jasper, and for
course, of
everyone
course.
watching. Is there
Yes.
any last piece of tidbit or advice you would offer those watching?
Yes, absolutely. So, I know for myself in my experience, like jumping into this work felt very, it was jumping into the unknown. It was challenging. It was a little scary knowing that, like, okay, I want to start my own business, and that, in itself can be a little daunting. But the the journey itself is just so worth it. It's so beautiful and it's so cool to watch yourself grow and to be like, whoa, like from this,
Mm,
from the day I enrolled to the point I'm at now, I would have never expected to be where I'm at. And with SWIHA, it gave me so much confidence. It gave me a community. It gave me a support team. And it just really guided me into the direction that like I knew I wanted to go, but I wasn't sure how to get there. And it really took me to that place. And even like today, I got on and I, posted for this like first group workout, and I had had it in my drafts for like 4 days. And I was just like,
Mm,
I was so scared. I was so scared. And finally I woke up this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm just like, hit send. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it. And it's about just like hitting send. It's about planning
mm,
the event. It's about just committing to a date. When they asked me to do gifts and graces, I was so scared, but I was just like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. So just believe in yourself, even when it feels challenging, even when it feels scary, even when your gut is just like, oh gosh, it doesn't feel good. Like it will feel good once you start really hitting that point and just believing in yourself and believing in your ability to do the hard things.
yeah, and what we tell ourselves is everything. It's our mindset, and our mindset is our reality. So we have to be really careful with that. There's even mindset coaches who even
Mm,
just focus on mindset as their forte.
mm,
It's interesting. I love this post that I did on Monday. I think it was last Monday by one of our um, graduates, Beckett Johnson. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. You can't learn to drive in a parked car.
mm.
I
I love
thought
that.
I thought that was cute. It took me like I had to read it a couple times because my a Virgo and my analytical brain is like dissecting the driving of the car and and it's so true. You don't really understand the mechanics and the movement until you really get in the driver's seat, put on your seatbelt, adjust your mirrors,
First
and
things first.
make sure you have a good coach in the passenger seat. But to get a feel for, you know, everything and then be open-minded enough to adjust as you go and be teachable, right? Be coachable.
Mm,
Because we don't know it all. What we don't know, we don't know it all. So,
mm, mm.
oh, well, thank you. Beautiful.
Yes,
I
thank
appreciate you so
you.
much. Yes, we look forward to connecting with those watching, and it'll be a great way to start the new year for sure. For those who
Woo.
are ready to go. So, yeah, get into that car and just start driving.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes. All right. Well, many blessings with your program, Jasper, your fitness
Thank you. Thank
program. I
you.
love it. Excited for you. And for
Thank
those
you.
who are going to be jumping right into their own calling, we're excited for you
Mm,
too. All right. Have a
yes.
blessed evening. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.